Hello, this is Mr. Pena, otherwise known as Catholic Tutor in a different YouTube channel. Today's going to be live call-in for those who want to practice their English. English live practice call-in. I'm going to post up also a little screen while I get things ready. If we get no callers, I will be teaching English. So we can practice, talk about whatever we want, and then we and take it from there. So before we get to that, I want to share with you something for free. It's my 10-day English grammar guide. My 10-day English grammar guide. You can master the basics of English grammar in 10 days. You can get this absolutely free. Just join my just by clicking down on the link below, by joining my WhatsApp group. And then when you join the WhatsApp group, just send me a little message and I'll send it to you. No problem at all. Send me a little message, join a WhatsApp group, get some value for free. We do a little voice call every day. And we can also practice in there in a more private setting and be a little bit more engaged. But this is my English language, my Master English Grammar in 10 days guide. So on day 1, we go through nouns, and then adjectives, verbs, subjects, predicates, adverbs, pronouns, articles, negatives, and then contractions. Just a little brief 10-day overview. So this will take you about 2 weeks to go through. Just like 10 minutes a day. And you'll master grammar in the English language. This is also a live stream for the Catholic Tutor. So we're going to go through some English, and then we're going to go over some Catholic material. If you're not religious, you could just join the Catholic live stream to just get a little education, use a little bit of religion to learn English, and you don't have to be extreme about it. I hope I'm not extreme about it. So I'm going to leave this up. I'm going to be out of camera for a little bit while I get the presentation ready so that we can learn. We're going to go through our next series. Actually, let me show you the series. I'm going to take you somewhere else. So just give me one moment. Take you to the series that I have. So we're going to go to playlist. We're on my channel. And then we go to playlists. When we go to playlist, I have a couple of playlists that I think will help you. It's called English Conversation Practice. So on day 1 is age. On day 2 is annoyances. Day 3, animals. Day 4, art. Day 5, birthdays. Day 6, books. And day 7, business. Today I'm going to be doing day 8 as part of this live stream. I forgot what goes after business. I think it's cars. I just got to check my Canva. I might even have, I think I have the presentation ready. So I highly recommend us to go to this playlist, and you'll be able to get a good gist of these English conversation topics. Okay? So I will see you soon. I will be back in a couple of minutes. The phone lines are open if you want to practice your English with me. I'm going to leave the link down below. Share, invite. Yes, I will be inviting everyone to come on. If you want to talk about the Catholic Church, or just practice our English. It's okay. It's going to be a live call-in format. There you go. Click on the link in the comments to call in. There. Okay, I'll see you guys soon. Grab my 10-day English grammar guide and click on the link below to call in if you want to practice some English. Take care. See you in about maybe 5-10 minutes. Bye. Okay, so I did find it. I had already made it. I didn't have to make it again. And I was just doing a couple of other things, but let's get started on our English practice conversation. Before we begin officially with that, I want to invite you to my WhatsApp group. Every day, we have a little voice call for 15 minutes where we get to practice together. It's a more intimate group. I send my announcements. And if you join, I'll send this to you absolutely free, this little guide, this 10-day English grammar, this little conversation practice study guide. If you want a copy, just go ahead and ask me down below in the comments for free. I'll go ahead and send it. No strings attached. Now, today we're going to be talking about cars. Have you noticed that anybody driving slower than you is an idiot, and anyone going faster than you is a maniac? Okay, we don't want to call people idiots, but do not drive too slow and do not drive too fast. So you can drive too slow or you can drive too fast. That's essentially what he's saying. Which, yeah, I agree. Oops. Cars. So we have mixed up vocabulary. Here, when you have a lot of cars on the road and they're all going nowhere. When you have a lot of cars on the road and they're all going nowhere. So we have traffic. That is called traffic. So the first word for tonight that I'm going to give you is traffic. And now the second word that I'm going to give you tonight is, well, the official word isn't burqa, but it says, use this to stop the car. What do we use to stop the car? Well, we use brakes. We use brakes. That's a good size font. Next, use this gear to go backwards. What do we use to go backwards? When the car is going backwards, we say that the car goes in reverse. So as part of my English channel, I'm going to write the word traffic, and then I'm typing it down in the chat, brakes, and then reverse. Here's our next one. It's made of glass and the driver looks through it. We call that a windshield. Now, I know that the mixed up word is a little bit different, windscreen, but we don't use that in America. We use windshield. I'm going to go ahead and also type it in the chat, windshield. Here's another one. It says, you should keep one of these in the boot in case you get a flat. A flat what? A flat tire. So this will be called a spare tire. Next one. These tell you where you are going and how fast you can drive. Oh, and spare tire. I want to go ahead and write that in the chat as well. A spare tire. There you go. And so what our next word is, they tell you how fast you're going. So it's those things that we call a road sign. A road sign. They do tell you how fast you're going, and they also tell you when to stop, when to go. Road sign. Another one, the bigger this is, the faster the car. What controls the speed of the car? What is inside the hood of the car? We call this an engine. We call this the engine. And so I'm going to go ahead and type in road sign in the chat, because I never put road sign. I put engine, the last word. I didn't put the second to last word. So here are all of our words: traffic, brakes, reverse, windshield, spare tire, road sign, engine. Pretty good. Moving on. We're going to mix up these words with these fill-in sentences. It says, this new login procedure is driving me around the seatbelt. Login procedure. What could that possibly mean? Doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, it's time to change gear and practice some of this new grammar. That does make sense. Time to change gear. People use that to say, "Oh, let's change our decisions." But this one, I'm not really catching the first one yet. If you can help me down in the chat, that would be great. And let's not erase this too much. We just want to cross it out a little bit. Okay. Next. After 8 hours of talks, negotiations seem to have come to a dead end. A dead end is when you can't go no more. Dead end. When you can't go anymore. When you stop. You just stop. The next one we have is, Sandra, you're in the driving seatbelt on this project. You're in the driving seat. It's basically take the lead. You're in the driving seat on this project. It's like you be the leader. And then we have, fasten your seatbelt. Things are about to get interesting. Fasten your seatbelt. Things are about to get interesting. So from there, we have this phrase, bend. This new login procedure is driving me around the bend. The bend is like that little curve type of thing. Pretty good. So let's wrap it up. This new login procedure is driving me around the bend. Okay, it's time to change gear and practice some of this new grammar. After 8 hours of talks, negotiations seem to have come to a dead end. Sandra, you're in the driving seat on this project. And fasten your seatbelt. Things are about to get interesting. Now, let's take a little pause. I'm going to quickly pause the live stream so I can get some water. I'll be right back, and we'll do our first conversation. All right, back to the lesson. Question 1. Do you prefer to drive or to be a passenger? How would you answer? Do you prefer to drive or be a passenger? You would say, I prefer to drive the car. If you say something else, such as you prefer to be the passenger, then this is what you would say. I prefer to be the passenger. So I prefer to drive the car. I prefer to be the passenger. One is answering the question of to be the passenger. The other one is answering you prefer to drive the car. Would you rather drive the car or would you rather chill and be the passenger? If you're just joining us, you're free to call in or even just answer in the chat. You can even answer after the live stream. No issues there. Let's move on. Which classic car would you like to own? Which classic car would you like to own? A classic car. No, you would just get straight to the point. I would like to own. I don't even know any classic cars. I'm gonna have to look up some classic cars. Man, my father used to paint classic cars. If he knew, I don't remember any classic cars. Let's just say Ford Mustang. I would like to own a Ford Mustang. But remember, it is a classic car. So that's the best way to answer that. You would say, I would like to own, and then a Ford Mustang, or whatever classic car that you're going to say. Whichever one is fine. Let's go on to the next one. Do you prefer sports cars or luxury cars? Ooh. I prefer sports cars. And then you could say, because they are fun to drive. You can add because to your answer. It's totally okay. I prefer sports cars because they are fun to drive. We can also say, what's the best car you've ever driven or had a ride in? What's the best car you've ever driven or had a ride in? The best car I have ever driven is a Volkswagen Jetta. The best car I've ever driven is a Volkswagen Jetta. Thank you for autocorrect for helping me with that question. What do other car drivers do that makes you angry? So you could say this. Other car drivers make me angry when they drive super slow. Like, it makes me really angry because they're not respecting me as a driver. They're not respecting the road. So what do other car drivers do that makes you angry? Other car drivers make me angry when they drive super slow. What's the most important factor when choosing a car? What is the most important factor? The most important is that it lasts long. I want the car to last long. I don't want to buy a new car every 5 years. I want to buy a new car every 10 years. Maybe even 15 years if it drives well. That's what matters to me. So here we have, how do you think cars will change in the next 20 years? How do you think cars will change in the next 20 years? Cars will change by having advanced, I would say, navigation, technology. Cars will change by having advanced navigation technology. How do you think cars will change in the next 20 years? Cars will change by having advanced navigation technology. What was your first car? What was my first car? Oh, I remember. Coincidentally, my first car was the year of the car was actually the year that I was born. So, my first car was a 1993 Toyota Camry. My first car was a 1993 Toyota Camry. Do you think there are too many cars on the road? What's the solution? I'm going to say I think there is too much traffic in large cities. Too much traffic in large cities. So that's the first question. This is one question. Do you think there are too many cars on the road? Now I'm going to answer the second question, which is, what's the solution? The solution. The solution is to make houses cheaper in other areas. So, if you make houses cheaper in other areas, people don't have to work in the city. People can move. That's my solution. Good. Here you go. Did you pass your driving test the first time? Let's see here. Yes. I did pass my driving test the first time. Although you don't have to say it fully. That's just me saying it. You can simply say, yes, I did. Did you pass your driving test the first time? Yes, I did. I did pass my driving test the first time. So, that'll be all. Thank you for joining me. I really would like to invite you to join my Google Classroom. You can join by accessing my WhatsApp group and then clicking on my profile, and you'll get the link to the Patreon. Or just click on the Patreon in the channel description. So if you want to join my Google Classroom, I'll put the link of the Patreon down in the comments. This is for the English language channel. This Patreon is not for the Catholic channel, nor for the math channel. I will not be helping you with math in this live stream. But you may join my Patreon to get exclusive access to more personalized tutoring sessions with me by simply joining the Patreon in the link that I'm about to share in the description. The Patreon is about $30 a month, but you do get a weekly coaching call for those $30 a month. Ooh, I don't like the link because it's a redirect link. So let me try it again. There you go. I just wrote a comment that I didn't like. There it is. There's the Patreon comment. Oh, and to join the call, I forgot to. There you go. I've starred these comments. The comment with the link to join the StreamYard, and the comment to join the Patreon. And so I want to share one more, which is the very link to the WhatsApp group itself. The very link to the WhatsApp group itself. How to join. Invite to group via link. I will also put the link of the WhatsApp group in case you want to join that and practice our English. For free every day, we have little mini voice calls. Awesome. So this is the first time I've actually accessed the WhatsApp app through the web. I want to see if I can access the WhatsApp app here on the. Yep, there it is. So here we have the chats, right? Here are the groups. Those are on the groups are on the left, or what I'm a part of. I'm trying not to show that. Yeah. I just want to show there. Just the WhatsApp group. That I'm a part of. Yeah, so this WhatsApp group, you get a sense of what we learn. I send the links to the videos. We also do little voice calls. Like I'm gonna try now. This is the voice app. I see. Okay, so it's really only through the phone. Never mind. Now I'm gonna do something for the Catholic channel. Technically, if you want to practice English, you're just gonna see a conversation between two people about religion. These things get heated. Don't take it very seriously. I'm not taking it very seriously, but you're about to see a heated discussion on religion. You'll see in a little bit what I mean. Yes, share system audio.
I feel like I was robbed as a citizen of an experience like that, where it was like I should know who my fellow citizens and countrymen are, and I think that's the point of civil service, is to facilitate that cohesion. Yeah, so I think we lack that.
Right. Well, I guess here's what I would say, and I'm going to be jumping all over just because I'm trying to find a way to describe what I'm trying to say in a very short way. So I would say it like this, like with Christianity, for example, right? Like most people see I would say a lot of people see Christianity as a prescription.
Carrying the furniture, right? I mean, I have a bad back, but also I'm bad at carrying furniture. I wear nails all the time. No, it would be nice to have two strong men come over and yeah,
I promise
furniture.
you
That's
though.
not
I
bad.
promise you though. Look, okay, I'll tell you this. If I had a choice, okay, and I bet you, chat, ones if you agree with me on this, twos if you disagree, okay? Ones if you agree, twos if you disagree. If you have a choice between two moving companies, one is a bunch of men, right? Just normal moving company, strong men. And one and two, the second choice is a bunch of supermodels, women supermodels that will carry and fix, like they will move all your stuff. You're choosing two every time. Every time. There is no situation where you would choose one. Like,
You're gonna choose one because you'd be like, who can pick up this fridge?
Right?
Who can pick up this?
So, while we don't have anyone yet calling in wanting to practice, which is not expected because it's still a small channel, I do want to try and get us to a PDF that I have. This one will be part of the Catholic Tutor. Channel, but let's read this little gospel tract from St. Paul Evangelization on contraception. This is just the one that I have saved. It says, not a trifling matter at all. Can everybody hear me? Yes. Can I hear me? I want to check this. Not a trifling matter at all. How can something as seemingly insignificant as a condom or a birth control pill severely hurt our relationship with our all-loving God and possibly even lead us to eternal damnation? Is using artificial birth control such a sin? We commit a serious sin whenever an action is gravely wrong. We know it and yet consent to it anyway. Besides turning our back on the possibility of spending eternity in Christ's kingdom, we harm ourselves even in this life. Sin creates perverse inclinations which cloud conscience and corrupt the concrete judgment of good and evil. How could birth control have such grave consequences? Let's explore the issue for a few minutes. We have an argument from reason. To those outside the church, Catholic sexual teaching it's good. Often seems like some backward-looking moral inhibition, contrary to human reason and modern science. Yet it is really the fullest fruit of human reason. It is, in fact, strengthened by a strong understanding of human biology. In fact, from a purely materialistic, utilitarian understanding of what a human being is, contraception is still wrong. Here's one such example. So I want to highlight this phrase right here. From a purely materialistic, utilitarian understanding of what a human being is, contraception is still wrong. Here's one such argument. When are things good? Things are good when they do what they're supposed to do well. When are things bad? Things are called bad when some aspect of them undermines what they are meant to do. A bad chair has large iron spikes pointed upwards from the seat. Biologically, what are humans supposed to do? That is, what is the biological effect of humans? It's undeniably the same as any other species: self-perpetuation. Therefore, if human beings are to be good at being human beings, biologically speaking, they cannot undermine fundamental bodily functions. There may be a hierarchy of bodily functions, but even if this were granted for the sake of argument, it would not change the fact that reproduction is the most important biological function for any living thing. It is a matter of life or death, and only matters of life or death can approach the weight of the biological imperative of sexuality. So, the biological effect of humans doing what they're supposed to do, is self-perpetuation. So, if human beings are doing what they're supposed to, they cannot undermine fundamental bodily functions. Reproduction is the most important biological function for any living thing. Finally, have some water. So that was called an argument from reason. Now we're going to get to an argument from theology. Here is one theological angle. Everyone agrees that sterility is a tragedy. Couples who live with sterility deserve sensitivity and respect, as do all made in God's image. Indeed, it is because they are made in God's image that this physical difficulty of sterility, for which they have no blame, is a very serious trial. Even couples who deliberately contracept deserve to be treated with loving kindness. It's not love or kindness, however, to refrain from telling them the hard truth. Contraception hurts them here and now. It hurts their family and loved ones. It could hurt them forever by way of hell. How does contraception hurt us? The answer is clear. Contraception hurts you and is a sin because you are made in God's image. That makes a lot of sense. Uh-oh. They've taken me somewhere where I am not. Let's fix that, shall we? Contraception hurts you and is a sin because you are made in God's image. Like the love of Christ for his bride, the church, like the love within and from the Trinity, we are meant for total self-giving and nothing else. So contraception violates total self-giving. We are made to abandon ourselves to our love, and our love is meant to be fruitful, to bring forth a new person. This does not mean that every act of love must end in conception. It only means that contraception must never be used in order to deliberately separate the act from its essential purpose. You may never use contraception to deliberately separate the sexual act from its essential purpose. Procreation, while the deepest purpose for sex, is not the only purpose. There is also the unitive level in which the two become one flesh. Contraception isolates the unitive dimension from the procreative, and so stifles, sterilizes, and diminishes it. Familiaris Consortio on the role of the Christian family in the modern world, an apostolic exhortation of Blessed Pope John Paul II. Remember Familiaris Consortio, which was written in 1981 by a former pope. Pope John Paul says, when couples, by means of recourse to contraception, separate these two meanings that God the Creator has inscribed in the being of man and woman and in the dynamism of their sexual communion, they act as arbiters of the divine plan, and they manipulate and degrade human sexuality, and with it themselves and their married partner, by altering its value of total self-giving. Thus, the innate language that expresses the total reciprocal self-giving of husband and wife is overlaid through contraception by an objectively contradictory language, namely that of not giving oneself totally to the other. This leads not only to a positive refusal to be open to life, but also to a falsification of the inner truth of conjugal love, which is called upon to give itself in personal totality. Contraception, unlike natural sterility, is a deliberate attempt to separate the natural functions of the body in an unnatural way that violates natural law. It's the difference between a man born without legs and a man who cuts off his legs. If we break the gift of sexuality on purpose, even temporarily, we bear very serious faults. Okay, time for another little break. I'll be back. Okay, let's continue reading this pamphlet that we were on. We had just got off of Familiaris Consortio. Now, we're going to get to why is it so serious? God, the creator of all things, gave us the gift of procreation, specifically to draw us closer to Him. By contraception, we say, thanks, but no thanks. While enjoying the moral and pleasurable benefits of marriage, we offer our whole selves in marriage, but contraception is holding something back. It's a betrayal of the marital vow in abusive marriage. More seriously, in contracepting, we attempt to tie even the hands of God, who may actually want to allow a new human being to come into existence as a fruit of marital love. If it is His will at a particular time in our lives, we in effect thwart His perfect will and say no to God. We want the pleasure of sexuality without the responsibility and fruit and deepest, most life-affirming purpose of it, children. Does this mean we can't plan how many children we have and when? No. So in other words, people sleeping with others with no intention of ever having children, that is the use of contraception that is deemed sinful, because you're distorting the purpose of sexual relations. Now, there are other ways to morally and rationally plan one's family that do not dismantle human dignity, degrade our spouses, or distort the marital vows. These methods are far more advanced than the notorious old rhythm method and fully endorsed by the Catholic Church. Natural family planning is not a Catholic variation of contraception. In fact, to use NFP with the same mindset as we would use contraception would make it just as immoral. It may only be used after serious, prayerful consideration and only with grave reasons. Legitimate reasons to space births may be financial, emotional, or health related. These were acknowledged by Pope Paul VI in his 1968 encyclical called Humani Vitae, which reaffirmed the traditional Catholic prohibition of contraception. For serious situations, a priest and a pro-life doctor should be consulted. The natural and spiritual benefits of NFP. Rather than manipulating the woman from outside, using unstable methods, fighting her body with every step of the way, these natural methods work with her pre-existing biology. NFP uses a combination of periodic abstinence, the woman's natural cycle, and medical technology to determine fertile periods. There are many happy side effects of NFP: increased satisfaction within a marriage, a deeper appreciation of rhythms of the woman's body, a more mature appreciation of the possibility of parenting, removing reliance on chemicals and plastics, being more aware of each other's needs, and fostering an unselfish approach to sexuality and marital union. But the biggest benefit of all is spiritual, knowing that we are not engaging in gravely sinful activities. That's all for now. I hope to see you tomorrow as we practice and learn our English, and for those watching through the Catholic channel, to get a better sense of our faith and why we do what we do or believe what we believe. Many blessings to all of you. Take care and goodbye.